Okay, so this is day 3 of my 100-day challenge. And what I want to say is, yesterday I talked a lot about how I got into, men with cams and started into the whole pornography thing. Today I want to talk about where that started to lead. And what happened is the more I did it, the more I felt numb. And the more that I felt numb, the more I started to drink alcohol. And at this point, alcohol was not a problem for me. Definitely was drinking more than what was considered healthy, by the FDA in the United States, but no more than what someone in their young 20s would do. I definitely would go out and have, 4, 5, 6 drinks, and it was not every day. It was on the popular days here where I live, which is Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's not too popular, but I'd squeeze that in too. um, more money is involved with escorting or prostitution. And so I began to do that. There is a local park where I live, and there is a lot of older men who cruise that area at night. A lot of them married men, a lot of them people who are gay and still in the closet, or people who still like to consider themselves straight, but just taper into what they, say. That I don't know what they say, but they say that they're not gay, but I'm sorry, I think they are, but that's besides the point. Um, you can get, for very simple things, $100 for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And, once you do it once, it's almost like a credit card. You owe $2,000, what's another 500? And once you get so far up there with the credit card debt, you start thinking, well, what's another 1,000? And it's the same way. At first you feel bad about yourself, you feel dirty, you feel whatever you feel. And then what happens is it just becomes easier. I've already done it this far, I might as well continue. Or you think negative things about yourself. Well, everyone thinks I'm a slut, so I might as well be one. And so I did that for a while, along with the camera thing, and found myself when I was single, which I was, I think, during most of that point, finding myself in adult movie theaters, finding myself in bathhouses that are in the area. And it all seems to flow together. And that's what I meant by saying in the first video about manifesting darkness. Because when you're manifesting light, you meet someone who offers you a job and you get that job, and then you meet new friends there who help you manifest the other things. It works the same in the opposite. You can manifest one thing, which will keep bringing you right back to something darker and deeper instead of bringing you up further. And I'm sure for a lot of you this may be hard to hear, all the things that I've been saying, because it seems very graphic. And I guess it is. But to this very day, I'm sure it doesn't sound as graphic to me as it sounds to all of you. I went from that point for a long time of doing those things that I had described, and around 1999 I started to become ill. I felt very sick, and so I got very scared, and I said, oh, I need an HIV test. I need to, make sure I didn't, have a disease. And I took that test, and it came back fine. I did not have HIV. And I was very tired, and I started to think I need something different in my life. I need someone to lift me up. And probably a week later, I met someone, and his name was Greg, and he was so positive. I mean, literally, hanging around him, I wouldn't talk at all. He talked all the time. And the reason why I didn't talk is because he was like an infomercial. He was that positive person on an infomercial trying to sell you something. He just kept flowing. He made you feel good about yourself. And I had met him, and we started hanging out, we started dating. He was very well aware of what I did. At that point, of course, being with someone, I stopped, the escorting / prostitution / whatever, except for I was still doing the online porn cam, and he was aware of that, and he accepted that. And then one day, it was around my birthday, which is in April of '99, I got very tired of doing it, and I got this email from this guy in France, and I won't say what it said. It was an audio clip that he had made, and it made me feel so degraded um, that I deleted that, and then I went in, and without any notice of the company that I was working for, I deleted everything. My entire web page, everything was just deleted. It took about 3 minutes to delete everything I had put up over years of doing this. And with that, I flushed $3,000 a month down the toilet, and that's just that company. Because at this point, I was working, for other companies as well. Not live cam, but video and photographs and stuff like that. And I got rid of it. And I thought, oh my God, what did I just do? But then I thought about it more throughout that evening, and it was the right decision to erase it, to get rid of it. I just wanted it gone. So I stayed with Greg for a while, and we did simple things. He was a simple person. He liked Disney cartoons. He liked all sorts of things. When he grew up, he was not allowed to watch television, so he didn't know who Molly Ringwald was or anything from the 80s that had happened. And I kind of despised him slightly for that, but now looking back, I see that as a very big blessing that he didn't. And then one night, we decided to go out, and we were going to go out and drink, but I was kind of tired, and I said, well, I really don't want to. Why don't we just go to see that movie you want to see? And we went to go see the movie Chicken Run. And to this day, I won't watch this movie, and you'll understand why through part of this video and part of the next video. But we went to go see it, and it was okay. It's an okay movie. I can't say it was a bad movie. It was just not my, cup of tea. And that night, he discovered something was wrong with him. He thought he had an STD. And long story short, which I don't want to get into the whole thing, I said, well, why don't we just take you to the hospital, just have it checked out. You're so paranoid about this. And he did, and I remember chain smoking in the car, and cause I'm a cigarette smoker. And, it took a couple hours, and he wanted to go home, and I said to him, well, no, why don't you just, stay the night with me? And it turned out he didn't have an STD. He was just being, paranoid about stuff. But he spent the night. And the next morning, it was June at this point, like June 24th, I woke up in tremendous pain. And when I say tremendous pain, I mean tremendous pain. And I really thought at this point, the day before I had cleaned the kitchen floors in our apartment, apartment being not me and Greg's, but the roommates I was living with at the time, on my hands and knees, because it just seemed to get it cleaner, instead of a mop, that our mop was half broken. I thought I pulled a muscle. And every time I inhaled on my right side, it felt like a stick going up and down my insides. It felt almost like if you were a child and you had a stick and you were going across a fence. It felt very much the same. And I took a shower, and I took Tylenol, and I was sitting in the tub in hot water, trying to ease this muscle, I thought, and the pain was increasing. And that's where I'll leave it at this moment, with me in the tub with the pain increasing, because it's now at 8 minutes and 40 seconds, and I will tell you more in tomorrow's video of what happened. Have a good day. Bye.